The psychology of money. 11 minutes that will redefine wealth and success. Money is more than just numbers in a bank account. It's a reflection of our deepest emotions, decisions, and life philosophies. In The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel unravels the complex relationship we all have with wealth, showing that success isn't about intelligence or spreadsheets. It's about behavior, perspective, and understanding the psychology behind our financial decisions. In this video, we'll condense the 20 transformative lessons from this timeless book into just 11 minutes, delivering wisdom that can reshape your financial life forever. Let's begin. No one's crazy. When it comes to money, people act based on their unique experiences, not universal logic. If someone grew up in poverty, they'll view risk and security differently than someone who lived through economic booms. For example, take Warren Buffett, who grew up during the Great Depression. His experiences shaped his cautious and long-term investment strategy. He often talks about how the 1930s taught him to be wary of market volatility. This experience made him value financial security over flashy short-term gain. Housel's lesson is simple yet profound. Everyone's financial decisions make sense to them, even if they seem irrational to you. Empathy is essential. Acknowledge that we're all shaped by different histories. Luck and risk. Success is never entirely your own doing, and failure is never entirely your fault. Luck and risk play significant roles in financial outcomes, often in ways we can't predict or control. Consider Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Both men were extremely talented and visionary, but their paths were shaped by different kinds of luck. Bill Gates was in the right place at the right time. He had access to early computers in a time when personal computing was just beginning. Meanwhile, Steve Jobs took enormous risks, betting on design and aesthetics to make Apple stand out. Gates's success came from timing. Housel's takeaway? Stay humble. When you succeed, give credit to circumstances outside your control. When you fail, be kind to yourself. Life is a mix of the two, and recognizing this balance keeps you grounded. Never enough. There's a fine line between ambition and greed. Many people lose everything chasing more when they already have enough. Take Bernie Madoff, whose greed led him to create one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history. Despite having more wealth than most could dream of, Madoff risked it all for the illusion of more. In his case, the chase for more blinded him to the value of what he already had, and ultimately, it cost him everything. If you risk what you have and need for what you don't need, it's the fastest way to lose everything. True wealth comes from knowing your limits. Define what enough means to you, and don't let the endless chase rob you of happiness. Confounding compounding. Compounding is the most powerful force in building wealth, yet it's often misunderstood. Look at Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime business partner. Munger often talks about how success is less about making big bets and more about consistent, patient investing over time. He's known for saying, "The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily." The key is starting early and letting time do the heavy lifting. Small, steady growth is far more powerful than sporadic, risky decisions. The lesson? Start early, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. Compounding isn't about big leaps. It's about small, consistent growth over time. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Housel says, getting money is one thing, keeping it is another. Focus not just on building wealth, but on protecting it. Avoid unnecessary risks, and always prioritize financial resilience over flashy wins. Tails you win. In life and investing, the biggest results often come from a small number of events. Think of a few key decisions or investments that shape your entire financial journey. Think about Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Bezos made a handful of critical decisions that shaped his financial future. Chief among them, his decision to pivot Amazon from an online bookstore to a global e-commerce and cloud computing giant. That one decision, to focus on cloud computing through Amazon Web Services, AWS, set the stage for Amazon's massive success. Few people understand the power of one critical decision better than Bezos. Housel teaches us, don't let small failures discourage you. Focus on the few tails, those rare, high-impact opportunities that will truly define your success. Freedom. The ultimate goal of money isn't material wealth, it's freedom. Freedom to control your time, make choices, and live life on your terms. Take the FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early movement. Individuals like Mr. Money Mustache and Vicki Robin, author of Your Money or Your Life, focus not on accumulating millions, but on living frugally and investing wisely to achieve financial independence as quickly as possible. Their ultimate goal? To have the freedom to choose how to spend their time without being dependent on a paycheck. As Housel puts it, controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays. True wealth isn't measured by what you own, but by the flexibility you gain in life. Man in the car paradox. Wealth is often used to impress others, but here's the paradox. When people see someone driving a fancy car, they don't admire the driver. They admire the car. Think of Mark Zuckerberg, who is one of the wealthiest people on the planet. Despite his massive fortune, Zuckerberg doesn't indulge in extravagant displays of wealth. He lives in a relatively modest home, drives a simple car, and doesn't flaunt luxury items. His approach challenges the conventional notion that wealth should be displayed, showing that the true measure of wealth is often invisible. Wealth is what you don't see. Most people equate wealth with visible displays of success, cars, houses, or luxury items. But real wealth is what you don't see, the savings, investments, and security quietly growing in the background. Consider Steve Jobs. He famously drove a modest car, lived in a modest home, and didn't flaunt his wealth. His wealth was primarily invisible, invested in intellectual property, in Apple's products, and in long-term ventures that brought lasting value. Housel reminds us, true wealth is invisible. It's about creating options, not showcasing possessions. Save money. Saving isn't just about building wealth. It's about creating options and resilience. It's about freedom to make choices without fear of financial instability. Take John D. Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest individuals in history. Despite his immense fortune, Rockefeller was known for his disciplined approach to saving and investing. Even when he had wealth beyond imagination, he lived below his means and made sure that his wealth was reinvested in secure, long-term ventures. Housel emphasizes, the ability to save is the gap between your ego and your income. Live below your means not because you have to, but because it gives you control over your future. Reasonable, rational. Not every financial decision needs to be perfectly rational. Sometimes what's reasonable is more important than what's mathematically optimal. If buying a morning coffee makes you happy, don't cut it just because it's not logical. Build a financial plan that works for your emotions as well as your goals. Room for error. Life is unpredictable. That's why your financial plan needs a margin for error. Whether it's an emergency fund or conservative investments, having a buffer protects you from the unexpected. Household's advice? The most important part of a plan is planning on your plan not going according to plan. You'll change. The person you are today isn't the person you'll be in 10 years. Your financial goals and priorities will evolve. The key? Stay flexible. Build a financial strategy that can adapt to the person you'll become, not just the person you are now. Nothing's free. Everything has a cost, even financial success. Whether it's time, stress, or missed opportunities, wealth comes with trade-offs. Housel's advice? Recognize the price and decide if you're willing to pay it. Success isn't free, but the rewards can be worth it. You and me. Your financial goals are yours alone. Comparing your journey to someone else's is a recipe for frustration. Housel reminds us, what works for someone else might not work for you. Define your financial success based on your own values, not society's expectations. The seduction of pessimism. The lesson? Don't let short-term fears overshadow long-term growth. Optimism, backed by preparation, is the key to financial success. When you'll believe anything. In times of uncertainty, people are vulnerable to extreme or irrational financial. Housel's advice? Stay grounded. Stick to the fundamentals and don't let emotions drive your decisions. All together now. Housel's financial philosophy boils down to 4 simple principles. Save more than you think you need. Be humble and appreciate the role of luck. Focus on the long term. Define wealth in a way that aligns with your values. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Confessions. In his final reflections, Housel admits that he's made financial mistakes. But the key to success isn't avoiding errors, it's learning from them and moving forward. The takeaway? Financial mastery is a journey, not a destination. Free of why the U.S. consumer thinks the way they do. Finally, Housel examines the cultural and historical forces that shape American spending habits. From the Great Depression to modern consumerism, understanding this context helps us make more informed decisions and break free from societal pressures. If this video gave you a new perspective on money, hit like, share, and subscribe. This is 11 Minutes a Book, turning life-changing ideas into actionable lessons. See you next time.